Hello everyone. So today's video I'm gonna show how I lather and the options I have when I lather and the different types of way of lathering that I know of. This video was actually asked by one of my subscribers, Justin Scott, and I'm just gonna answer to his question basically. Now, lathering wise, it's always different. It depends a lot on the brushes you're using. So synthetics, and there's loads of synthetic ones, depends on how much water they can retain. For example, the badger ones retain a lot more water than the boar ones, but both of these ones normally tend to retain a lot more than any synthetic ones, except for the newer synthetic ones, because there's a few synthetic nowadays that actually retain water. So they're actually developing a lot of synthetic ones that are almost getting to the stage of the natural fiber ones and retaining water in them. So the amount of water the brush retains helps with the lathering. And then there's the other part as well, which is the type of soap you're using. For example, I'm going to use a Cella here, which is kind of a crope. It's not soft, but it's not a hard soap either. So this is kind of easier to load the brush than, for example, a really hard soap, like for example this Alien Shaves one, which actually it's not. This is actually probably the easiest hard soap that I know of that loads really quick, I have to say. I have other ones which I don't have now on hand, but hard soaps that are harder to load up than a crop one. And then you have the choice of cream ones. I have the Proraso here, for example, and they're very, very easy to load up. You just put a dollop on the brush and lather it. Now, so we're talking about two components at the moment already: brush and what type of leather you're building with, like cream, hard soap, or a crop. And then there's another thing. People like me, I enjoy face lathering, but a lot of people prefer to use a bowl. And there's a third option, which I normally do with certain soaps, which is bowl leather. I start bowl lathering, but I don't finish the leather on the bowl. It's just kind of a way of loading, take a dollop of, for example, a crop or even cream or whatever, and then start the leather on the bowl, but then finishing it off on the face. So all this makes a difference on how to leather. I'm gonna try and show something. We're gonna try, for example, I use the boar with a rope, and I'm gonna try to demonstrate face leathering in this case. What I normally do, I should have actually soaked this, because this is a natural fiber and you should actually soak before you start lathering it. But just to save time now, I'm not gonna wait for it. I'm just gonna load it as it is. Just a bit of warm water on the bristles there. Now, normally boar brushes, you need a little more, I advise to leave it a bit more time soaking, so that it softens the brush. Now I know this one is kind of broken already, so which helps a lot to soften it quicker with the warm water. I'm just gonna load this. I'm gonna show it now on camera there. So I'm just gonna go load a bit there. I don't know if you guys see, I don't have much water in the brush at the moment. So this is just a quick one, and that's because I already know more or less how to do with this. The other thing, you have to start learning as well, because all soaps are kind of different. Some lather faster than others, but the general advice when you're starting with that I would give would be bowl leather, learn how the soap works, and then you can start going on the face, then start doing half-half like I like to do sometimes, which is just load here, Like for example, I loaded the brush. I'm actually gonna show on the thing. Now I'm gonna put just a small bit of water there on the bowl. There's a small little bit there, not much. And then I'm gonna just bowl lather this time around. Hold on, and I'm gonna show. Now, I could do a half now. This probably is not much, and it's a bit dry, and you can actually feel, and it's still bubbly there. I don't know if it shows on camera, there's still some bubbly there. So I can just keep going until the consistency of it starts being like cream, like chantilly, or you know. That's the best explanation I can give you. Once you don't see any bubbles on the leather, that would be a good leather to start with. Sometimes even with, depending on the soap, even when it's not bubbly, when it's kind of like a creamy consistency, as you guys saw, this was actually really quick with Cella, but it might be still dry. So the only thing you can do is just put just a few drops, actually. A few drops there. That should be more than enough, and just hydrate the leather a bit more. Right, so there you go. So you can keep going, keep doing it. Don't put too much water, never. Just keep adding small bit of leather, and when you're starting to learn this, take your time. Don't rush things in. Don't go shaving with a hurry. If it's like that, I would prefer you guys to go with a cream, which lathers way faster, and you don't need to worry that much. There you go. So, see, I put a bit more. I would say this probably is more than enough to lather it. I'm going to use my hands to show instead of putting it on the face. But there's no bubbles there. Pretty good consistency. See, peaks. There you go. And that was just a bowl lather. If you're doing it on the face, I'm going to use the synthetic there now and show you it on the face with the hard. I'll use the hard soap this time around. Just gonna wash the stuff there. I'll finish washing it properly afterwards, and I leave it there on the back so you guys can see. I'll use a hard soap. Normally hard soaps are harder to load up, and I'll do a face lather. I'm just gonna put some water. That's the other thing, advantage of the synthetics. You don't need to soak the synthetic fibers as you do the natural ones. You can just put it underneath the water, and more than, as you guys can see, plenty of water still there. Now with this synthetic is a bit different because it's really a big knot, but it still doesn't retain as much water as, for example, the natural ones. Now I'm gonna take most of the stuff that's still kind of humid and just load up this hard soap there. This is probably one of the hardest things is with hard soaps. Not all, but some hard soaps are really hard to load up and do a face lather. Most friends of mine that do this, they normally tend to put it on the bowl in case they need to come back and add more soap or load more soap. I'm gonna do a face lather there and see how we go. I normally like to take the excess there instead of wasting it. Just put it on your face. Actually, I didn't even put water on my face. It's okay. It's just a show up. So there you go. Just don't waste. I'm gonna leave it there. Now, there's almost no water there. I'm just gonna put some water on my face. Just a small bit of water so that it doesn't. We'll use the lather that we had there already. There we go. Now, let's build up on the face. Just spread it. If you want to do a face lather, spread it first. All over the place. Still very dry. Don't know if it shows on camera, but it's very, very dry still. But there we go. Now that I'm spread it a bit, I'll just put the tips of the brush underneath the water. As you guys can see, it's dripping there, and go into the face. Now this tends to be a bit more messy because it will go all over the place, but you can see that it's starting to build already. There you go. And then you just go, build, spread all over again. There you go, and just keep building. I find it still a bit dry, so we'll do the same again. Tip, as you guys can see, is dripping. There you go. Add more water. Building there. And just keep doing that until you find that it's the right consistency for you. Some people like more creamy, which is my case, for example. Other people like a voluptuous lather. I prefer a kind of a creaminess like this one, more or less. But you can see that it's not bubbly at all on the face. It's kind of like creamy consistency. And I can add more water in case I want hydration. If it starts bubbling, you either keep whipping, keep building, and the bubbles will start going away, or it could be that it's not enough soap on the brush and then you have to load it again. In this case, I know it has enough there already. And you guys can see that that's more than enough. I could actually start shaving already. There you go. And it's actually pretty hydrated. And if I keep going, as you guys can see, it's still building, and it's a proper consistency there. There you go. It does. Sometimes because I like face lather, sometimes it doesn't build proper peaks there on the face, just because I like it more creamy. I don't like as much volume there. But I can show you now what's on the brush, which is plenty. There you go. And you can see you don't need that much time. You just need to learn how the soap works, how the brush works, and if you're like me that it keeps changing stuff, you just need time to build it, basically, just in case the one or the other, like for example, if the brush doesn't retain water at all, it's harder, it takes a bit more time, you need to add more water, or the soap needs more whipping to build a proper lather. So you always need to think of how much time you have to shave to build it. Now I'm just gonna take this off, give me just a second there. I'm gonna do one thing before I start this. Now these ones, for example, I'm still learning. I'm not an expert, but I'm still learning with the badgers because I don't have that much practice. They normally retain a lot more water, so it's a bit different to load with the badger. But I want to show you. There you go. You just need time to build it up. That's about it. Like, and don't add too much water. Just gradually add the water. Now I'm gonna show something with the cream and why the cream is so easy. I actually saw this on the Proraso Instagram, I think it was, USA one, which is you can actually build a lather with certain creams without even the brush. That's why it's so easy with creams, and that's why I did it when I was beginning. I was getting mostly creams. Just wet your hand and go build it. And if I feel that and this is the first time I'm doing it, I saw it and I'm trying on camera for the first time, just to see, because I saw it being done, and I wanted to check it out. It's still kind of dry, so I'm gonna add a bit of water on the hand there. There you go. It's not as good as if you have a brush, but you definitely could shave with this. See, even without the brush. That's the advantage of creams instead of hard soaps. Which is so easy that even like this you can just shave. Not a bother. It's actually not bad, I have to say. There you go. That's it. And you can actually see if I keep doing this, it's still building there. So, and this is the first time I'm doing myself, so I'm actually surprised that it actually works this way. One thing that it's happening is drying up quicker. So I'm gonna add a bit more water. Woo, dripping all over the place. Just to see myself as well. Oh yeah. Still pretty slick, I have to say. I'm not gonna shave, but I'm gonna try one thing there with one of the razors. Just to see how slick it is with the razor. Gonna just wash my hands. So I'm learning this at the same time as I'm doing the video. There we go. Hands washed. I'm just gonna grab the Gießen there. The old Gießen. Let me just see. Yeah, pretty slick actually. I'm not shaving, it has no blade in it. It's just to see the slickness there. Yeah, pretty slick actually. You guys can see. Yeah, you could shave with it easily enough, I have to say. I don't know about the protection with the blade, but I would say because it's Proraso and I've used Proraso plenty of times, there's plenty of protection there. So as you guys can see, you can actually do this with the cream as well, with the hands without any brush. And you don't need to build up a voluptuous lather at all to shave. Once it's slick enough and it has some layer of protection there, that's good enough to shave. So basically that's it. That was my quick answer to one of my subscribers. I forgot his name, sorry, I have it there. Justin Scott, sorry about that, guys. But that's basically my explanation of how to build a lather. Just gradually take your time, learn it. Use a bowl in the beginning to learn how it works. Another thing I did as well was I used to go to the shower and practice in the shower while I was sometimes on the face, sometimes in my hand as well. So all that is good. Just get a cheap product and practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to actually finish the way I am and clean up afterwards. And I hope to see you in the next one. I hope this was helpful to someone. And I hope to see you again. And if you did enjoy this content, please put a like on it. Please subscribe. And once again, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Ciao.